Hi boys and girls, Mrs. Clayton here, coming from your classroom. It's me and Pete the cat. Where's Pete the cat? Oh no, Pete the cat, are you being shy today? Do you need your friends to say hi? Boys and girls, can you please say hi to Pete the cat? See if he'll want to come and share our story with us. There he goes. He must have heard you, boys and girls. So today me and Pete the cat are going to be teaching you a little bit about fairy tales. Fairy tales are stories that often we learn something from, and they always start the same. They start with once upon a time. So our first story that we're going to read, or our first fairy tale, is called Jack and the Beanstalk. Look at all those colorful beans. I wonder what will happen. Let's start reading. Once upon a time, deep in the countryside, lived a widow and her son, Jack. Their cottage was crumbling and their clothes were patched. They were very, very poor. One day, Jack's mother said, "We must sell our cow. Take her to the market, Jack, and bring home some gold pieces." And so he set off to town. But before Jack had gotten very far, he met a strange little man. "That's a fine cow," said the man. "I'll swap you 5 magic beans for her." "Magic beans?" said Jack. "Are they really magic?" "Magic they are, or chop off my beard and knit it into a sweater," croaked the little man. Magic beans? Jack couldn't wait to tell his mother. He clutched them tightly and ran all the way home. Is that what his mother asked for? Did she ask for magic beans? I don't think so. Jack's mother was furious. That's another word for mad. "We need money, not useless old beans," she cried, and she threw them out the window in disgust. But late that night, a tiny bean sprout poked out from the ground. And then it grew and grew and grew. The next morning, the beanstalk stretched into the sky. The beans were magic, Jack cried. But what's at the top? So Jack climbed up, up, up the beanstalk. At last, he reached the very top. There, shimmering in the sunlight, was a magnificent castle. Just then, Jack's stomach rumbled. "I must find some breakfast," he thought, and he tapped on the castle door. The door creaked open, and a huge giantess smiled down. "Hello," Jack shouted up. "Please, do you have any food?" "Oh, you poor thing," boomed the giantess. "Come right in quickly, before the giant gets up." What a marvelous feast! There was an enormous loaf of bread and a gigantic jar of jelly. Jack dug in at once. Do you notice those big words, enormous and gigantic? That means big, a really big loaf of bread and a big jar of jelly, the size for giants. But suddenly, the room began to shake. Boom, boom, boom. "Oh my goodness," cried the giantess, "he's coming." And she shoved Jack under a teacup to hide. Do you see him hiding underneath the teacup? Into the room stomped a big, scary, hungry giant. "Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman," he said. "Be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread." "Don't be silly, there's nobody here but us," the giantess scolded. "Now go and wash up before breakfast." Jack trembled. "I must leave now," he thought. He was halfway down the hall when he heard squawk. It was a hen with bright golden feathers. "Help," she clucked. "Set me free and I'll lay you golden eggs every morning." Jack scooped up the hen, but then he heard huge footsteps thundering after him. "Fee, fi, fo, fum," roared the giant. "I smell the blood of an Englishman. And there he is." Jack raced out the door. He jumped and slid down the beanstalk. Down, 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 all the way back to his cottage. "Mother, quick, bring the axe," he shouted. Jack's mother swung the axe at the beanstalk. Thwack! It shuddered and shook, and then the giant came tumbling down. Fee, fi, fo, crash! And that was the end of the giant. Jack hugged his mother tight. Look what I found, he said, and he showed her the golden hen. Oh, Jack, said his mother, I'm so glad you're safe, and you were right about those magic beans. So Jack, his mother, and the golden hen all lived happily ever after. And with lots of golden eggs, they were never poor again. And you see they have their house here, and we have Mom and a whole bunch of golden eggs, and they're all living in their very cool house that they obviously built. So boys and girls, after we read our fairy tale book, we're going to do My Story Hand. So we're going to be talking about different parts of the story. So in our story, we have things called characters. We have setting, where the story takes place. We have a problem in the story that the characters have to solve. Events of the story. And the solution, so what the characters did to solve that problem. So we're going to go through the story Jack and the Beanstalk. So the first one is our thumb. We have to talk about what characters were in the story. So let's think back. What were the characters in this story, boys and girls? There was Jack. There was the giant and the giantress. There was Jack's mother. There was the hen that laid the golden eggs. And there was that man who gave Jack the golden beans. Not the golden beans, the magic beans. After that, boys and girls, is the setting where the story took place. Now this one has a couple settings. There was Jack's cottage. There was also the castle up above the clouds that Jack went to after he climbed on the beanstalk. Next is the problem, boys and girls. What was the problem in this story? Think back to the very beginning of the story, boys and girls. And Jack's mother said, we don't have any money. So they couldn't afford to get some food. So that was the problem that Jack had to solve. So when we go through the events, we can probably figure out the solution. So they started at the beginning with having no money. Then Jack went to sell the cow to get some money and got some magic beans. Then his mother was not very happy with them and threw them out the window. Then the beanstalk grew and Jack decided to climb up. He found the castle, he met the giantress, and then he stole the hen that lays the golden eggs. At the end, he went back down because the giant was chasing him. They chopped it down, and then they lived happily ever after. So the solution, boys and girls, to their problem was they found the hen with the golden, who lays the golden eggs. And that's what they did to solve their problem. And then they had lots of money and lots of gold to take care of themselves. When we do our fairy tales, I want you to go through the hand, each finger one at a time, and figure out the characters, setting, problem, events, and solution. Good luck, boys and girls. Bye from Mrs. Clayton and Pete the cat.